What the fuck is that, Vinny Beedle?
What's up, everybody? It's your boy Scumbag Vinny. These folks right here have the biggest scam going. And even the guys I did take money from that were new in the game, I gave them experiences that they would never have gotten, man.
Vinny
And
the
people
scumbag.
did. Scumbag Vinny, bro.
And there was like 8 comics on the show, and they all sucked. And he got on stage, and he was like, "Vinny, did you just stop at a red light and say, hey, you want to open for Artie Lang tonight?"
Vinny Beedle's a good man, and we'll be back.
I used to go to concerts when I was a teenager, and I would sell fake tickets to events.
I've made it clear I have no problem that you scammed numerous people.
No.
It's such an important part of my background.
If somebody's trying to get into comedy and somebody rips them off so bad that they have to quit comedy, you've done them a favor.
This movie needed Vinny Beedle to show up in like a stolen Ford Taurus. What up, it's Bam Margera. Go listen to the best podcast in the world, SCUMTOWN.
Vinny Beedle is who? Compton?
Oh yeah, Compton ass. We want a fresh piece of shit, man.
You're a bigger scumbag than Vinny Beedle.
Yeah, man.
Vinny, I want you to take down the social account now, or I will have the legal authorities get involved with you.
Now that I found out that this whole thing was a scam, I kind of really like him.
Yo, Vinny Beedle, episode 8. We're
back.
No changes to the theme song yet. Way too busy, but I'll get to it.
Yeah, man. I mean, busy's good, and we're staying on schedule, which is something I've never done in my life. So this could be something here, man. We're on to something.
We're joined by our new friend from YouTube. His YouTube name is Dark Mourning Radio. Shane is here. He's I don't know, are you a stand-up comedian? Is that what you go by? Are you a punk band artist? What are you?
It's very difficult to pin down. I do a lot of different stuff. I like to just consider myself now as like just a media artist, I guess, in general. I mean, just an entertainer or whatever, I guess. Anything to get, people to fucking worship me and give me their money and,
Really?
Sounds like a solid scam.
Yeah, it sounds. I was gonna say I wasn't listening to anything until that last sentence, and then all of a sudden, it just felt like we were family.
Vinny, pay attention. Yeah.
He's like, anything to get people to give me their money. I'm like, wait a minute, who are you?
They call me Sam Margera. That's what they call me.
Wow.
Yeah, you came to the right place.
Yes, you did. Welcome, my friend. I just subscribed to your YouTube channel because any fellow scammer is a brother in need, and indeed. So
Part of the scamly, as they're saying on Instagram.
Part of the scamly, and I just appreciate. Now, what are you doing? Because he said you're an open mic comic, and Lane is awesome in the fact that he loves that term, and so when he calls someone that, I'm like, I want to know what that really means. What does that mean for you?
Well, right now it's kind of being used as it's like practice for me. I do my own shows here in town. I live in Pittsburgh, and I go to open mics pretty much to hang and gather cult members. Pretty much. I go in.
Man.
And then I'll do my set, and I won't do any of my material. I'll be like, yeah, so I was fucking my sister last week, and I'll just fuck around for fun. But
You're getting the minions. You got them. You're Gru. You got the minions. That's all that matters.
Right, yeah, because, it's all, the people that go to mics every fucking day, and do the same set over and over again and leave and don't talk to anybody, complain about never getting shows or never doing anything. It's because you're literally like, you're trying to assimilate yourself to this culture, but you're not even applying yourself, the right way. So it's like, well, to me, it's a tool. You use that to network and things. And don't get involved in politics,
You sound like... You sound like Mr. Miyagi to my Karate Kid. How long have you been doing it?
I've been doing stand-up comedy. It's been about. I started in 2017. I started out being in punk bands and weird. I'm like a weird art kid or something, I guess.
Okay, so then you would be my Karate Kid I started in about 2009. So. Catch up to the grift. So now, do you actually apply the grift to the local comedy scene in Pittsburgh? Are you scamming any comedians or doing anything to get them to put money in your pocket? I mean, I don't want to deliberately say, are you scamming them? I don't want to make you feel uncomfortable, but like in so to speak, describe it how you would. How is the local comedy scene in Pittsburgh putting money in your pocket?
Basically, by promising these egotistical maniacs any kind of notoriety. You're gonna get them to fork over something.
Lane,
That's
his
a
first
solid,
word.
plan.
Let's just stop right there, Lane, because his first word was magic. He said promise. There are a few men in this world that become con men, and it's like the devil's baiting into us when they let us know that word means so much to so many people because, you know, on the playground, a promise was everything. You know what I mean? And so when he's
he didn't
promising,
say give them notoriety. I just promised them notoriety.
I promise you, dude, and I promise you're gonna get everything I'm telling you. And they just go, you know what? This is what Hollywood is. Hollywood, somebody's discovering me, you know, and that's what they feel. Even though he's just another comic in town, he's somebody giving them what they're looking for, you know. So we call that playing into their dreams. And I don't speak to you as a hypocrite, man. I did this for a long time. I did it a little differently and probably a little better than you, but don't be upset about that because
now it's a competition.
No, it's not, because I used to think I was the best at it, and then I met Nick Mullen from SCUMTOWN, and he doesn't do it deliberately with open mic comedians to their face, but he's got like millions of people who watch his show, and a lot of them are open mic comics that pay to listen, you know, and like so he said to me before, you know, I do what you do, but I'm better than you at it. So that's when I realized there's levels to it, and it's just based off how much money you make doing it. It has nothing to do with experience or how funny you are. It's like as a promoter or as somebody who's like, you know, a producer or whatever you want to call it in the comedy world, the people who are actually like putting the effort forth are the ones gaining the financial benefit from it. Whether it's $10 in a plate of wings or $1,000 or $100,000. You know what I'm saying? I didn't mean to offend you, but that's kind of what this show's about, man. I don't know if Lane brought you on for that reason or.
Listen, I'm not gay. I'm a very confident man, and I don't mean gay sexually, although I'm not that as well. Although I have kissed some dudes enter some threesome arenas with girls. I'm not.
What you? Hold on. What you just said was you just said you're not gay, but you're not talking about sexually. But if we were, then you're saying, you know what, I am sexually gay.
Well, I've kissed a couple dudes, enter some threesomes with a chick.
You know? What does that have to do with scamming? Are you scamming?
Kenny says, my friend Kenny says that it's not gay unless you do it 3 times or more. So I don't think he's gay.
Well,
I'm also just kidding about all that.
Well, I have a friend, one of my good friends growing up. His name's Dan, and he like a normal dude. I mean, he's a tall guy, and he has, in his past told me many stories about friends of ours that he's had threesomes with girls, and once it's gotten to number 6, and I've heard about 6 stories, I'm like, Dan, you've just been gay 6 times. You know, you didn't have threesomes, you know, with girls. You know, if you have a threesome with 6 different of your friends, one of them who was a cousin of mine, you're just gay. And you need a fat, ugly girl, smelly girl in the room to be able to make an excuse to be there with dudes in your pants off. And he just laughs. He doesn't even say that he's not gay, you know.
Well, but that's yourself, then it looks worse, right?
Well, people who grow up with brothers, and I grew up with all sisters, but people who grow up with brothers, just gay shit isn't as gay to them, you know, but it's gay to like the rest of the world.
It's close to jock lifestyle. I got a stepbrother.
Mm-hmm.
But he was the oldest of like 4 other brothers. And so it was immediately like, you're getting your dick hit every day. People are touching your ass when you walk around the corner. It's like, what the fuck is wrong with you guys?
So one of the stories,
it's the same shit that like football players do. If you ever hang out with basketball players or football players, they do gay ass shit like that all the time.
One of the stories that my boy Dan told me is that he was at a bar one night with one of our friends, Mike, and you know, again, these guys are in their late 20s, tall, good-looking guys, and an older girl, like in her late 30s, who I guess was a smoke show, as they describe her, came up to, which to me means she was pretty ugly, but they were drunk and were willing to do whatever. But she comes up to them and she goes, you know, I want to take you both home. So they go, no, you come to our house. So they go back to their house with the lady, and I guess they were both double teaming this lady, and out of nowhere, my Dan said he saw an Indian guy in the room filming. I guess ended up being her husband. He followed them. He followed them with a car, and it could not even be her husband. It's probably just some fucking guy shooting like a low budget porno or something. And he followed them to the house. He goes in the house, and he starts filming them while they're fucking this lady. And Dan, I guess the kid Mike was like into it, but once the guy got all up in Dan's face and literally isn't even filming him fucking his wife, is just filming Dan's face while he's doing it. Dan's like, I can't take this. He's like, this is too weird for me, and he just left the room.
It's like a meta porn experience.
Yeah. Oh, I just said, dude, you were just in a porn and you didn't even get paid. It's somewhere online right now. I don't care what the fuck you say. Some Indian Martin Scorsese is out there directing fucking 2 guys, 1 cup, and you're in it.
I don't like how he was like complaining about the camera being in his face, but up until that point, he was still participating in the threesome.
This is what I don't understand, right? It's like when he tells me this story, hearing it from him, it's like, how did that Indian guy get in the house without anybody hearing? How did you, like, they had to have known he was there. There was an exchange at some point where she was like, okay, but my husband has to film it. And then they said yes. So he's just making that part up, but just a classic story. And again, one of 6 stories he's told me. I won't spoil the rest for tonight. But yeah, my buddy Dan is just, that
don't
just
spoil
makes him
the
gay.
train stories. God forbid. We gotta save those.
Some of them might not even be legal. Some of them might not even be legal, you know? I just remember one time he was banging a girl and he was like young, and I'm older than him. I'm like his best friend, and his 2 older brothers are my best friends, and they're like legends in the town we grew up in. And I just will never forget, he's like young and he's got a girl in his room and he's banging her, and he runs downstairs, this fat girl. And it was me, my buddy, who's his older brother, and his girl. And we go, and Danny's got no clothes on. He's got a towel wrapped around him. And we're just like, what the fuck are you doing, Dan? And he's just like, I just had to come down here and tell you how awesome that was. And I'm back up, and I was like, great. I said, how is it? And he goes, oh, she stinks like pure shit. And I was like, why are you doing it? And he was just a young kid getting laid, you know, because he never got laid, I guess. Or, you know, maybe at that point he didn't get laid. And he just goes, yeah, as soon as I pulled her pants down, it smelled like pure shit. I almost vomited on her.
How did we segue into running trains on girls? How did we get here?
I asked him how he scams open mic comics, and he started talking about how
and he promises them with threesomes. Okay, now I see what happens.
I guess, or what he said was, which I want to ask him, and I know I'm being a horrible. I just wanted to tell those stories. He's basically trying to use gay as an analogy that involves something other than being gay. Like, he's gay with the comics in a way, but then he said he was actually gay.
No. You got that wrong.
Okay, go ahead. Run it back.
Okay, so what I meant was, I'm not gay. Like, I don't care. Like, whenever you said that you're better than scamming at me, I meant I'm not offended. Like, I'm not gay in the way, like, I don't care, you know? Like,
I see.
You know,
I see.
like, oh, what? You think you're better than me? You know, that's fucking lame. No, we don't do that. And about the other actual gay thing, I was saying that there's been a couple times where, you know, there's been a chick that was with her boyfriend somewhere at a, you know, party or whatever, and we're hooking up, and then I find out there's a boyfriend involved, and I'm like, oh shit, well, I still want to fuck. And then there's this weird thing you can kind of do where the guy knows, like, listen, it's either he's getting cheated on or, you know, we're all gonna fuck his girlfriend tonight. So sometimes you gotta like do a little kiss on the cheek or something to the guy, so the girl's like, oh, you're kind of freaky, and you'll fuck my boyfriend too. And then you go fuck
that
the
is
girl.
the gayest thing I've ever heard in my life.
I appreciate the honesty.
There's nothing wrong with that. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, and I'm not offended or anything. It's just, to me, I don't know. Makes you kind of gay.
To me, sucking a cock is definitely gayer than that.
That's 100% gay.
There are definitely levels.
There's definitely levels to being gay. That's for sure. But we also didn't let him finish the fucking story. You know, I don't know if we're gonna. So yeah, what happened? You kissed him on the cheek.
Does that play into
come out of it?
yeah, exactly. Then you just spoiled the trilogy.
No, I'm just kidding. But yeah. Guy had the same name as me, though.
Yeah.
Does it cancel out the gayness? We got the same name, or is it even gayer?
Yeah. No, you're good.
No,
you know what's funny is, like, you tell that story, like, yeah, so, like, I'm kissing his girlfriend, and then I just take him upstairs and fuck him and leave her downstairs. But I'm not gay, you know?
Can you imagine any way to hurt a woman's pride more than she thought she was getting a train ran on her, and both the dudes left to go be gay?
Oh my god.
I don't know, but next time a girl heckles me, I think I might have to say that's her role in life. Maybe that's good.
Or next time, kissing her boyfriend.
The next time, yeah, you ask a girl if she has a boyfriend and she says, yeah, just say, oh, well, can I talk to him? You know?
How big is this cock, huh?
Oh my God. So what are you doing with the comics in Pittsburgh then? We haven't gotten to the bottom of that.
Okay, so damn, I hope none of these fucking guys hear this. Yeah, so basically, I mean, it is a scam, but it's not really because I guess I feel like because they are I'm taking advantage of their egotism and kind of like harvesting into something much darker. But basically, you can talk these guys into doing any shows, and then what I do is because I'm black, I'll be like, oh, well, you want to do like the nigga show and get the diversity and stuff like that. And then we'll have this nice diverse black and white and whoever, hodgepodge together under this whole thing of diversity. And then you have all the lefty blued out people that are all like, oh, hell yeah, they're all for it. And then you get like the black people that like might get to fuck a white girl tonight. And then everybody's kind of turns into this big thing. And it's all based on, their own egos and their own little fucking weird, shit. And
yeah, you tapped into something interesting there. First of all, I really appreciate you announcing the fact that you're black because we are audio only right now. So we do need to paint a picture for the audience, so to speak. And that's cool. I would have never thought that because I guess Pittsburgh black guys sound like white guys everywhere else in the world. But
no, it's not true. There aren't me's in this town. I'm like the only kind. The only other kinds are those nerdy Dragon Ball Z black boys.
I see. Well, that's what I was picturing a little bit. But we got to get to know you a little bit more. No, but you definitely touch on something interesting there because rather than actually trying to hurt their pockets physically, you're trying to go at them in a way that motivates them to get laid, whether they like boys, girls, whatever it is. Your assumption is that, okay, these guys aren't into comedy for money because they're not effort forth with their career, so they must be in it because they want friends or a significant other or to have sex or something. So it's not something I haven't really ever thought about because comedians aren't the most physically attractive humans, so you don't automatically think I'm like not sitting there trying to get everybody laid when I meet them.
Well, it's like what he's saying earlier too, though, about the regular guy that goes to a comedy club every day is just like a nerd that just goes up and does the same routine and then leaves and goes to another comedy club. You know what I mean? And what he's saying is like he shows up, he's like casually like, hey, look, you could do this too. Don't you know what I mean? Look, this is how easy it is to get a little bit of a fucking attention going. You know what I mean? And they're like,
yeah,
oh shit, I never get this dopamine rush. And so, I mean, if he delivers, if he's not setting it all up, taking their money and then running out the door before the show starts, he's not really scamming them.
Well, I mean, that's kind of up for argument because for years I really did throw the shows, and it was afterwards when comedians didn't get the feeling they thought they were going to get that they start saying I was like a scam artist. But shows always happen. It was just, if it's a show in front of 40 people and you were expecting it to be like the fucking, MSG or some shit in your mind, you know what I mean? Then you're going to paint this picture that it should have went differently, especially when they're paying you or they're getting people to come to your club and pay you money.
You have magnificent hype man. If you're really good at that, it's going to help. I mean, you could broaden somebody's experience. It's not even that good into being amazing just because you have the crowd going and everybody's having fun.
Yeah, no, listen, man, you're basically preaching my existence, and I want you on the show more because we see eye to eye that way. We don't see eye to eye with kissing boyfriends on the cheek, but that's an interesting strategy. And
right, if you do get kissed on the cheek by him, you might be eye to eye then.
He's like the guy that says that you're gay for sucking his dick. Like he's almost like boyfriend shaming these boyfriends.
Women right now. I mean,
he's like, dude, I get tons of pussy sucking dick. Like that's pretty much what he's saying to us. Which I listen.
I actually wanted to ask about that. Whenever I watch your shows, Shane, you're always like, yeah, the girls were telling me. Who are the girls? You just have like a gaggle of women living in your little apartment with blankets on the windows. Like, what's going on over there? If you want to talk about it.
No, that's fine. So I live with two women who I don't date. Who are like, blued out lesbian kind of liberal kind of types, but they're cool. One of them's like, kind of a pretty decent artist in Pittsburgh, but I also have these two other women who I've been dating for 4 years now, and the one we just met a couple months ago, and they became friends, and then we all just started having sex, and I don't know what's going on. We're just all
God bless you, man.
Wait a minute. Back this the fuck up. You got lesbians living at your house. But they're not lesbians with each other. They live in separate rooms.
But there is mad pussy munching going on in this house on Friday nights, let me tell you.
So, okay, so then another girl comes into the situation and everybody starts banging in the house. You're banging all three of them now.
No.
He knows two girls, and they're with each other, and then he knows he lives with two other just random lesbians.
Oh my god! So the lesbians that you live with, there's nothing going on between you and them. Only these other ones you met.
Only these other ones, and I do have to keep it kind of a secret. Like the girls kind of hate each other, and there's this war over my cock, and it's difficult, but we work it out.
It sounds like you got to evict the ones living with you and get those other two to move in.
Yeah, I mean, the lesbians have this dog that hates men and kind of bites at my nutsack sometimes. So that might actually have to be a
something
thing
to talk about. Or just get like a big kennel. Big enough place
for the girls. Big kennel for the girls.
Yeah.
Just keep them in there.
So you started comedy in 2017, which you admit is a grift for you to get laid. Have you made money doing stand-up yet? You said you throw your own shows. Do you make any coin at all doing it, or?
Collectively, I've probably made less than like $1,000, but I've made a little bit of money. Nothing crazy, but it keeps the gas on or something.
He's in 3 bands, I think he said the other day, and so it's like if comedy is something casual, like if you're in 3 bands, are you making money performing in any of those bands? I know you have music on Spotify.
Yeah. I don't. Well, I'm like I said, I'm like a trad, indie, whatever kind of art kid. So I'm like Spotify is good. Fuck that. So I put my music on. We put our music on Bandcamp and on SoundCloud.
He basically
and stuff
he sings his music from the roof of his house, and whoever hears it, he's artsy. So but it sounds like you're a candidate for Vinny Beedle management. You got all the tools it takes to be an entertainer. You just don't have anybody making those tough business decisions.
Yeah, I really don't. I mean, I've had a lot of success ruined by I love heroin. So like I'm just gonna spend all. I mean, I've made money, but guys love drugs and
Full disclosure, we would manage you, but we would only manage you digitally. We would never meet in person. And now that we know that about the heroin, yeah, I've managed some famous heroin addicts, and it's never worked out. So I would just have to manage you from afar, and we would have to write like anonymous letters, and you have to send me cash. It's a whole thing.
Okay, well, I mean, the letters. I mean, we could just send emails, bro. I mean, come on.
I just can't have any kind of paper trail to your suicide.
Oh no, I'm not gonna kill myself. I'm getting too much pussy, and I'm on these antidepressant pills and Adderall and stuff. Yeah, I mean, I feel great.
You just got a dangerous mix there, man. It's just one day you're gonna wake up and things are gonna get dark. Do you ever have those moments?
I don't think you didn't say you do heroin, right? You're saying other people do heroin and they fuck off.
Right. No, I hate heroin. I tried it out.
Okay. Oh no, he said he tried it out. Listen, Lane. Listen what the man's saying.
Maybe you're on the.
I tried heroin one time. I thought Bob Dylan was good for the only time in my life because I was on heroin.
Wow, that's so funny.
In Philadelphia, South Philadelphia. So
he was listening to a lot of Mitch Hedberg comedy at the time, and
maybe I was back then. Actually, that might have been because he's like the the first guy everybody says if you're kind of weird and you do interested in comedy, like listen to Mitch Hedberg,
Now, so you run into that a lot where there's like a guy or someone that you're working with and things are starting to kind of develop and then they go start doing heroin or crystal meth and you're just like, there they go.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's weird when you're working with somebody, especially if they're a friend and they're doing that because you almost can't treat them like they're a human. Like it's like you can't even be mad at them because they're addicted and it's not them. So it's a weird situation. It's like, yeah, you could beat the hell out of them, but you're not going to get any money or anything so you're kind of just screwed. But that guy's.
What do you say if someone asks you, how long have you been clean? Because you still do Adderall and things like that, but you're not doing heroin anymore. Even though you only tried it once, how long has it been since you've done that?
Okay, so to answer the base question, subjectively, I think that you can technically be doing drugs and be clean because I think in my mind that clean is a state of mind. So you could be on crazy amounts of drugs, but if you're living a clean lifestyle, doing the right thing, being a good guy, and you got to play the game every once in a while. But if you're doing all right, then that's clean. Now, if you're dark, that don't do heroin or meth or anything, but take Adderall, and are pieces of shit. Those guys are dirty, even if they're prescribed it. You know, they're shitty. So to me, it's a mindset.
It's this mindset. When was the last time you done heroin?
2017, around this time last year. My friend died actually the next day in the hotel room. His anniversary is actually I think tomorrow or something. It actually might be smoking crack with this prostitute. It was kind of fun, but yeah.
So when did that happen?
It was fun up until that happened.
This was April 8th, 2018.
Wow.
Yeah, I was in the seedy hotel in Philly, it's Comfort Inn in North Philly, and you could smoke cigarettes in there, and people were like doing like lines of coke off the table. And dude, I can't believe this fucking place was real.
You couldn't believe that a low budget motel had drugs and shit in it.
But I've seen hotels like what he's talking about, where it's like you walk over there and they're just doing like with the doors open and shit.
Oh, believe me, man, I know. As a comic, I've lived in those kind of motels for years up and down the East Coast, and you know, I'd look at reviews for hotels and it says, you know, people will solicit you for drugs, and it happens. Like, I'm more speaking with sarcasm. I'm not trying to be rude. It's just that I'm trying to get to know you, you know. In just a few minutes, we learn that you've done heroin, you smoke crack with prostitutes, you've kissed dudes on the cheek. So I'm trying to gear this more toward how we can get like some cool stories out of you. Yeah, you know, like when did this all start? How did this all happen, man? There's always something that goes on to make the drug use start to get a little out of control.
Okay, so I've been I have schizoaffective disorder, so like, you know, I'm like, you know, what you call it. I'm not a pussy, so it's okay, but like, you know, I've been hearing voices and seeing ghost people and all that shit my whole life. So it's like I always did drugs to like make that go away. And my parents were like mad to avoid it, and were just like, "Oh, you're fine. Like, oh, you talk to yourself, you're talking to walls all night long, and like you're crazy. You're fine." You know, they never checked up on me, so I just
you're diagnosed with that, or is that self-diagnosed? Like, is that a WebMD? I mean, I'm not. Is it? Because I have a cousin who has it too.
Yeah, I actually just got diagnosed with it like a month ago, but I've known I've had something.
Or something in your whole life. And when you say you see ghost people, you've actually seen apparitions of like human beings, or?
Oh yeah, I've talked to spirit people, all kind of stuff. It's
anybody that you've been able to trace to like the human world, like, you know, if it was a relative or like somebody that, you know, you found out it was a real person, or is it more just like voices in your head? Like, because, you know, schizo and seeing spirits would be two different things depending on who you're talking to, you know?
Well, schizo crosses over into the psychic world. I don't want to get too esoteric and gay and shit, but I mean, it's not the same thing, but like, you know, they can be experienced dualistically.
You might be just hearing random voices and they think it's schizophrenic, but it's just 100 people trying to cry out for help to you, and you don't know how to do anything with it. Have you ever tried to go to a psychic medium and see if they can help you, or?
A lot of those
before the heroin, maybe. You know, let me go see fucking the Long Island medium and see what you can do.
Oh, you gotta yeah. Yeah, I never really trust them, because believe it or not, most are fakes. There are real psychics out there, but I would say 95% of them aren't real.
So if they do heroin, then they do heroin and smoke crack with prostitutes and their life derails, you're like, yeah, they can't control this. They're definitely real.
If it's a guy that's gay and I can kiss on the cheek, and, you know, have like, you know, gay sex with him, and then do heroin and smoke crack with a prostitute, then that's the psychic I go to.
Have you ever had any gay sex for like drug money? Have you ever been low on money and you needed to do what you had to do to get your drugs?
Before, actually.
What'd you say?
I've never had gay sex.
Oh. Or, okay. Well, a lot of heroin addicts end up resorting to that. It's something that gay men
he did it one time, Vinny. Let's be fair.
Yeah, he did say that. He kind of is going back and forth. I mean, when I asked him when the last time he did heroin was, he did say, yeah, just to be fair, and we can go back and listen, he did say the last time he did heroin was 2017, also, I guess, like a year ago. Like, he's kind of like all over the place about it.
27. That was a mistake on my part. It was 2018, not 2017.
You know, it's 2022, right? It's just been so high. He still thinks last year was 2008. He missed COVID and everything. He's just been fucking burnt out.
I'm kind of jealous because I take large amounts of mushrooms to get to that level where I can see people and hear voices and shit. And so I kind of am like, well, why would you? I want what he has.
I definitely believe, and I've experienced things in the spiritual world. If you noticed, I haven't like come down his throat about it. It's just more like, is he in a situation where he sees spirits, but his family thinks he's schizo? That's what I was wondering. You know what I mean? But he's saying, no, I really am fucking schizo.
I see. You guys are so normy. I have to talk different. And that, no offense.
That hurt me.
But
That
yeah,
actually.
I mean, that is just, I hang out with some very strange people, and it's sometimes hard to talk to people that aren't in our little clique, and I forget.
You're like, dude, you just don't fucking get it, all right? I see ghosts and I hear random shit. End it.
Don't get it.
All right, we could change the subject. It's pretty cool, but we could change the subject. Have you ever
No, we can't be fucking so. Basically, I'm crazy on tayo. No, there's a ghost snake in my ass right now. Okay, I'm done. I'm sorry.
Does anybody in the comedy scene in Pittsburgh know that you are like a skit like this shit is going on, or are they just fucking following whatever you say?
Yeah, but here's the thing. I think there's a lot of mystery in it because it's sometimes I say very like insightful things and will have good advice, and I think it kind of trumps it somehow to where they're like, oh, like he actually is, a legit guy. But I mean, I think it's probably more like pressed on my on-stage persona than my actual personality, because of course, those are going to be different. But I think as far as like as a guy, they don't think I'm as skits as I am. They know, but they have no idea. Like I can't tell like comics about this shit. They'll never hear the end of it.
Yeah, comics, now they're normies.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. There's not really cool comic, but he's pretty basic here.
Well, there's like 4 types of comedians, right? There's like the woke one, and then there's like the white guy, this conspiracy dude who wears a hat, kind of like Vinny, but he's really in conspiracies. Then there's like the black comic.
Why am I imagining wait?
I can't believe you're going through all this, Shane, and you're black. That's so fucked up.
That's gay. I'm fine. There's nothing to do with me being black. Okay?
No, I know, but I'm just saying, like, you have the normal problems of a fucked up white kid who hates his dad, and you're black too, and it's just a shitty hand to be dealt.
God, I wish they were here to hear that. That's so funny. Well, I guess they will. That's hilarious. Yeah, that's actually been said before, but recently by my girlfriend. That's really funny you said that.
That they're like, dude, just go fucking be emo, man. Like your family just, and you have a black family too, so they don't believe in all that spooky shit,
Right. Well, that's what he said. They just like he's just talking to himself and shit. He's fine. They just left him.
I get real racist in my mind. I get real racist in my mind when I think about his family being super black, and he's just like this outcast psychic black kid who talks like a white dude.
Has superpowers.
Just like, I'm gonna go do heroin. Do you fucking care? And they're like, no, motherfucker, just be home, for dinner.
Yeah, that's pretty accurate. And then my dad's all mad and jerking off angrily at how sexy he thinks my like stepbrother is because he's my gay and my dad's secretly gay and like he's actually
No way.
I'm just kidding. That's a totally made up bit. But wouldn't that be silly if my dad was the one who loved cock most of all?
And it was your stepbrother yours, and it made you super jealous.
No, I wouldn't be jealous.
I'm just playing along in the storyline creating. It's like you get real weird and I say one thing and you like act like it's totally out of the realm.
No. I'm playing this straight man, even though I'm a fucking faggot.
Nah, you're good, man. You're funny. You're definitely funny.
Thanks.
You got that kind of uncontrollable energy. Even when I watch your shows, I'm always like, this guy. There's no reason why this guy only has 3 people watching him, and one of them's me, except for the fact that like you're just all over the place. You know what I mean? But that's part of why I like it.
You definitely have Shoe Nice vibes, and I don't know if you know who that is, but he's like a YouTube legend, and it's not a compliment, so to speak, but it can be if YouTube's like where you want to be. Then it's a high compliment. But he's a schizo.
I mean, I don't really care. I mean, it's gonna happen. It's just I got to put more work into it. I got a producer now, and we're gonna be fine. I don't want it to be big for now because I want to hone my skills and then kind of come at people. And there's a lot of cancelable shit I say that like I need to practice for when the real haters come and be able to just fucking tear them down right away. So I kind of just want to build slowly, and this fucking show's great. I don't even barely fucking try. So as soon as
definitely check it out, man. It sounds like it'd be some fun. Do you talk about your life and stuff you've been through like this, or what is the show about?
So the show started out as kind of a I watch other podcasts and other people and not really talk shit on them. I don't want to call it that, but for lack of a more teal term, you kind of just critique them. But really, I just basically call them all faggots and losers. But
he does like a solo with apologies, basically.
I see. He's just talking to all the voices in his head.
Well, now that I know, he's actually talking to people.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
There's not. Yeah, I think a couple times I have been weird on there, and I have put fake voices and shit on there. But there's real people involved as well. But I do that too because I am
sure there is. Everybody listening, go listen to the Dark Mourning pod. Is it Dark Mourning? What
Dark Mourning Radio, spelled
Dark Mourning Radio on YouTube. You go subscribe and we'll put the link down below, right, Lane? We can do that for them.
Oh yeah.
And we'll try to get that number up from 3 to 7. If we can do that, then I've done my services here.
I don't know if you saw, Shane, but I clipped your song that you did the other day about killing Mersh, and I put it on the Ian Ellis LLC channel. I hope you didn't mind.
Oh no problem. That's awesome. Thanks, dude. Appreciate it.
I thought that was hilarious.
Do we have a similar enemy in Mersh?
So the only thing I know about my only Mersh knowledge is just from watching With Apologies and Philip Wave and them making fun of Mersh. I've never been
awesome.
Radio except for there was a Dark Mourning Radio episode where I just did a who the fuck is Mersh, and I actually watched Nightwave for a second and talk some shit. But other than that, I refuse to. I will never watch anything he does unless it's on With Apologies or if it's a Philip Wave thing.
Yeah, right. And I can only watch what he does when the Reddit people send it to me because I can't watch Mersh either. But yeah, I think it's awesome that there's people out there that their entire idea of who some of these podcasters are is just from what Ian Ellis says about them.
Isn't that amazing? I don't know what happened to Mersh, but right after he did that live stream about me after my first appearance on SCUMTOWN, it got deleted with a lot of his videos after that, and his channel went out for a while. Do you remember that time period, Lane, at all?
Yeah, it's one of those times when everyone was getting struck on YouTube for being alt-right, and Mersh was a super alt-right guy. He's kind of an SJW now.
What does SJW mean?
A social justice warrior, so a person that is offended by things or cancels things.
That shit's not even cool anymore. I mean, I'm friends with all these Gen Z kids, and they're cool as hell, and they call people faggots, and they're not even what are you doing? That was cool.
When I hang out at the skate park, kids still call each other faggots. It's a normal thing.
It happens everywhere still, and it's just people who are afraid. Now, here's the other thing, Shane. If you truly want to be uncancelable, you have to cancel yourself first, and when you do that, the doors start to open because nobody can cancel somebody who nobody.
Well, if he keeps the I Kiss Men story going, you know what I mean? He has a pretty good shield there being black and gay. You might want to think about that. I told Ian Ellis, if Ian Ellis just said he was gay and did stand-up comedy, no one would be able to cancel him.
How many times has he been punched in the face trying to kiss a boyfriend on the cheek, playing it wrong?
Has that ever happened? You read the situation wrong?
Oh no, I'm very desirable. People always have sex. I never have had a problem. I'm getting I barely ever get nose ever. People are just
I have a friend who's black and I skate with him, but he grew up in Japan for 4 years when he was a little kid. So he's like you. He's super weird and trippy and all over the place. You said an emo white boy trapped in a black dude's body. And he was telling me he wants to move to Japan. He was like, we should move to Japan for 6 months, Lane. And I was like, dude, I'm going to do that with you if we really go. But understand, I'm going to be hating the whole time at all the bitches you're going to get. There's this thing about skinny, weird black guys that act white. Just white girls and Asian girls and emo chicks fucking love that shit. And that's exactly who I'm trying to talk to. But I only get to talk to women that are slightly scummy. I talk to women with arrest records and shit like that.
Oh well, you can put those pussies to work too. That's fine. I mean,
it's like the new Tyler the Creator shit, man. It's just this,
Vinny. From your perspective, Tyler the Creator is new. Now, from my perspective,
he's been around for years.
Yeah,
man.
That's old. That's
years.
Old thing.
I just mean that he was one of the originators to come public as this weird black dude trapped in like a white guy trapped in a black dude's body. Like in many ways, he'd probably slap me in the face if he heard me say that. But just from my perspective and my eyeballs growing up, and I remember his stuff very early on. I was just like, this guy's not like regular hip hop, and even he'll say that,
Normal nigger, yeah, that's a different kind of nigger on that. Yeah, I understand. I don't even like fried chicken.
The N-word was more shocking on this show when Ian Ellis said it because he's white. So it was just like one of those things. If I don't react, it's not that I don't care. I do care when you say it, and I enjoy it. It's just, Oh
yeah, it's cool. You don't have to echo with everything I say. I'm not there.
I'm just kidding. But it's one of those things when black people say it around white people and they think like feel awkward about it, but inside every time you say it, we kind of like it secretly. But like I'm also Italian American, which I don't consider myself white. Now my skin is white, but my people were not oppressed nearly as much as black people were, but they certainly were oppressed, and that's how the mafia started, but that's for another day. Italians were hated in the country, and they were poor before black people even, were a thing to Italians.
Way before they existed.
Way before
before the world's first people existed.
I'm talking about like the early 80s. You know what I mean?
Before Yakub, you guys know about Yakub.
Imagine if there are white people in this world that think black people were created in the late 80s. Like when crack came, that's when black people came.
On my block that thinks that, I'm sure. That sounds like up his alley. Eric is his name.
Your dad?
No, this autistic guy.
Is your dad like a traditional black guy? Like, does he look at you and go, "God damn, boy"? Or like, is it more like, is he like you in a way? Do you know him?
Like, you know what I'm saying? Clean up your goddamn room. Yeah, he's
yeah, is he like that?
He p-nigged out, bro. Yeah.
That's so killer though, because you can go back to your roots at any time. That's pops. That's what raised you. You could switch up. I had a black friend growing up named Mickey, and he grew up with all white people, and so he didn't know how to act until he was older and met black dudes, and now he's the man,
He's a dreadhead now.
No, he's just who he always was. He just grew up around white kids, And so it's just one of those things that you could always go back home to your roots, man. Your dad was yelling at you. I remember your dad kind of looks like Drake's dad to me in my head, telling you to fucking clean up and stuff. And
hey, bud, clean your room up there, bud. Yeah, yeah.
Still has the potential to deliver a white baby somehow. It's just it all fits, man.
She gets pregnant and that baby comes out any looking any black. I'm beating the hell out of her. I told her that. Listen,
what kind of shade? What shade black are you? This is really racist to ask, but are you like super light skinned?
I am a third level cerulean brown.
Brown? What the fuck does that mean? It's just like a cardboard box color, or that's like Egyptian?
It's a Wendy's bag, maybe.
That's light skin, bro. What the fuck kind of shit is that? No real black guy describes himself as a Wendy's bag, dude.
Oh, it's smoking here, but there's a Wendy's bag. It kind of look like.
I wanted you to tell me you was dark as the night.
I'm dark as Vigani from the Zulu tribe. My great.
Oh my god, dude, that is the funniest shit I ever heard of Wendy's.
Ladies and gentlemen, listeners of Scam and Vinny, get a free Baconator on me.
Wow.
Shane, the paper plow. I'm just kidding.
That sounds like the scam of the week lane right there. Free Baconators to the listeners. Yeah, I was going to say, what the fuck? I'm going to
start plugging my Wendy's app code in the video description.
Hey, man, on TikTok, I did that with the Cash App reward code if you sign up for Cash App. So I made a TikTok when I was going viral on TikTok, and I said, this is your code. If you want $5 free, sign up. I got so many requests and made so much money off that damn video. I'm not even bullshitting you. My request is up to if I request somebody on Cash App, I get $30 now. I'm like a fucking platinum member Cash App referrer. I could do no wrong on Cash App. So shout out to fucking Cash App. And I will be, just to let the people know, Scumbag Vinny's got a new grift going on. I'm in the resale business. We've mentioned this in previous episodes when we interviewed Slobby Robbie. That is our least listened to episode, and I have been very busy, Lane, and we haven't gotten Robbie to promote the show. It's our fault, but he said he would, so we're going to have him put that out there, and you guys go check that episode out. But I was following Robbie on this app called Whatnot. Lane, have you heard of Whatnot?
I think I only heard you guys talk about it.
So Whatnot is this live streaming app where you can auction off pretty much any kind of collectible or toy or anything that somebody would want to collect or buy for their kid or something. And they sell a lot of things on Whatnot, but that's what a lot of it is: sports cards, Pokeballs, toys, plush, stuffed animals, everything. And you get on the app and you start your auction off. And if you have the inventory, you can auction all your stuff off in one night. And how we heard about it was I was watching Robbie on it, and one of the people that I sell to, what I do is I buy a lot of stuff in bulk. I buy thousands of items in bulk, and I wholesale them to people to sell on eBay. Well, one of the people that I sell to on eBay, she got on Whatnot, and she made, I think it was $700 in her first live stream, and Whatnot congratulated her and called her. The app actually called her, and they asked her where she gets her stuff from, and she told them us, and they called us and asked us if we wanted to sell on it. So our first live stream is going to be Thursday, which is, for people listening to this, was yesterday, which is stupid. But we will be live streaming multiple times a week, and every Thursday we're doing a special Scumbag Vinny Disney live stream. We're streaming everything Disney. So I didn't mean to shamelessly drop that, but check me out on Whatnot. You could find us on Instagram, the Florida Pickers, or
is it like
I'll be posting about it.
Is it like a real live stream? Like, is it you on camera, like auctioning? Like,
oh yeah,
and somebody give me one. Somebody give me 150, 125.
Well, I have to do the auction voice. We basically you just put the stuff up and people bid on the bid button and the money goes up. So you basically, my job. I mean, a lot of people's streams who are unsuccessful can't really entertain, and I'm pretty good at that. So I mean, we're gonna do a little show where we it depends on what show, because I really could stream and sell anything on the app as long as it's not illegal or fake or counterfeit, which is those are great scams, but we're not going to be doing that on this show. We're going to be selling real, secondhand shit, stuff that I buy from garage sale buyouts and real estate buyouts and storage auctions and stuff like that. And we sell the collectibles on there and people bid on them. So something could sell for $1 or something could sell for $100, but the whole algorithm to success is if you could get the stuff at a cheap price, you'll make a lot of money on the app, So it's interesting, man. You should definitely try to get on it. I'll send you a code, and I can refer sellers as well. So if Lane, I know you're doing resale, if you get into certain kind of thing like comic books or sports cards or some shit, I could refer you on there and you could start selling as well.
Figure it out, Vinny. I'm gonna let you know. I'm supposed to be moving in a few months, so after that, I think I'm gonna start getting back into.
Where are you going? Where are you going?
I'm just trying to find a house in Sacramento somewhere.
Sacramento had that shooting, huh?
Yeah, that was that shut everything down for like a week. But what was weird is when that shooting happened, like 6 people died and 12 people were injured. But like everyone went out the next night because they were like stoked. They were like, "Did you hear about the shooting?" And then everyone went out. It was so people in Sacramento are such scumbags.
Would have been a good time
cities, bro.
Would have been a good time for me to throw a comedy show. You know what I mean? Everybody wants to fucking go out and hear about it. You
probably could have, yeah. You probably could have. It's real fucking dirtbag.
Was it a gang related shooting? What do you know about it as a local?
Always is. Yeah, it always is.
The fucking Kings, are they big out there? You guys big NBA Kings fans out there?
People love the Kings, but you don't talk about the Kings because of how much they suck.
Oh shit! Well, they've been.
We just don't really talk about it.
You don't talk about them too much, but you secretly love them.
We're supposed
I'm telling
to.
you, man.
I
I
don't like sports, so to me, I just like anything Sacramento, just out of principle.
We got to get you to Florida, man. We got to get you out of shitty Sacramento and get you on the East Coast. That's what my plan is.
I'll check it out, man. But I don't know. There's some. I love being surrounded by just dirtbag fucking hoodlums. Like it is. I promise it's definitely my vibe.
Promise you, I'll be as scummy a friend as I can be if you move to Florida. That's my pitch.
We'll figure something out.
You'll hate me after like a week.
Is where you live, Shane? And you live in Pittsburgh, you said?
Yep.
Is it super like scummy where you live at? I hear Pittsburgh's kind of like a
piece of shit
pretty
town.
Scummy place. Yeah.
On my deck, and I smell crack right now. So yeah, it's
fantastic.
Wow. Shane, I would love to come to Pittsburgh and do a comedy show sometime. As long as you don't kill me for asking you about, crack and heroin and ghosts and shit like that. I think it would be a fun time.
The only person I want to kill just died a couple days ago, so you're good. And definitely, we'll keep in touch. I think we're gonna do something in July here, 20 something. We're talking, so
right.
We can go out for sure.
I got some friends in Pittsburgh, so if you're listening now and you're in Pittsburgh, just know that Scumbag Vinny might be touring with fucking Crazy Shane. That's what we're going to call Shane now on the show, is Crazy Shane. He's fucking crazy, man.
I was Shano and Sano in high school. That was my name.
Shano and Sano. That even sounds like a white name.
Yeah, that does sound like a kid's name on like a Disney Channel movie.
Or like somebody who's trying to be a pro wrestler but is not going to make it, you know?
Beautiful black woman. Yeah, that Vinny, that's perfect. That is what that. Yeah.
But I'm going to call you Crazy Shane. I like Crazy Shane.
Yeah, it works.
I think if people know you're Crazy Shane, they know you're fucking crazy, man. You don't want to fuck with somebody who's crazy. You kind of get like a little protection there too at the same time. You're not too scummy to me. You're not scummy. I know that you said you were like grifting comics, and the comics. I hope you do promote the show because this is coming from me. You're not really grifting comics. You're using a little of their ambition to help you guys all get laid and stuff. But no, I mean I've literally dealt with money dealings with comedians, and that's when the word scam kind of comes into play. Is when there's some kind of financial indication of anything going on. But you did use their hopes, and it's like you're smart enough to take their money. You just chose not to, and I can commend you for that. But also, if I had a big buzzer laying right now, like, that's when I would have you hit it right now. Like, I would debunk Crazy Shane as a scammer. But fun conversation for sure.
Podcast. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah,
for sure, dude.
I really enjoyed it. It was fun.
Channel link and stuff in the video description,
and Shane, just so
I'll
you
make
know,
sure to send you it when it's out and stuff. So
and Shane, just so you know, this was probably the most fun I've had on the podcast since I think the 3rd episode. So thank you so much for coming on, and I hope you do again.
Cool. Yeah. Thanks for having me. Have a good night, guys. Great talking to you.
Yeah, you too, man.
Dude. Have fun with the lesbians.
I will see you guys.
Oh, damn, Vinny, that went better than I expected. We got a new friend of the show, Crazy Shane.
Crazy fucking Shane, dude.
Look how much I'm trying to produce this show, Vinny. I got a new friend, and I brought him to Scamming with Vinny before I even brought him to With Apologies. Look,
that's sick, man. I think
you're getting top booking now.
Yeah, I mean, Crazy Shane is, and he should go on With Apologies because he'll fit right into that fucking mess. How many episodes of With Apologies do we have left?
I think 7 more.
You guys are fucking. 8. You guys are grifters. I'm gonna be on the next show. I'm coming on.
We might end up being grifters by mistake. I think because we're trying to go out on top, as they say. I think we're gonna fuck around and keep catching little waves here and there. And I think Ian might make a little bit of money when we're about to be done, and he's gonna have to make a change of plans. But the With Apology show on Sundays is for sure ending because I only have weekends off now, and trying to cram in this and do a show on Sunday and try to skate is pretty much impossible. Yeah, I'm actually happy now that it's ending, but we'll figure something else, some type of different show. I'm thinking maybe we'll do like mini apologies or something a few times a week. Might be easier than doing one fucking 3-hour plus show every week.
Yeah, and it's almost like you guys have been around so long and you put in so much time. You guys are kind of like the WWE where you can go from Friday night to Monday night if you have to. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't have to stop the show to change the schedule up a bit.
I'm the 4th producer of With Apologies. I've only been doing it for about almost 2 years now. So
you also don't have to stream
someone else.
You also don't have to stream for 8 hours every Sunday. You know what I mean?
Well, that's just the first 3 hours is the show. And that's like, I do think 3 hours, if you have like a lot of stuff to talk about and you have multiple people talking, that's a pretty solid runtime. You know what I mean? And then after that, it's just like, that's when I let Kenny in the Discord. That's when any people from the chat can come up if they, get a Discord link.
I think you should cut it to 3.5 hours, give them 30 minutes at the end. And then if you cut that, you might start to see your freedom open up a little bit more on those Sundays. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but to be fair, when I'm doing that part of With Apologies, I'm like sitting on the couch, like drinking beer, smoking blunts and stuff. Like I'm not producing that part of the show. I'm just
right. Just hanging out. Okay. Well, I'm always sad to see it go. But at least we got Crazy Shane here, man. And Crazy Shane, as you can see, I dug a little bit and we got some shit out of him that I didn't think we were gonna get.
Yeah,
so that's what we.
There was a lot to unpack there, and I think we were just barely getting into it.
I've seen a lot of people recently have been finding the Habibi interview later on after it's happened. It only
Yeah,
had
I
a
think
few
people are
views, and
gonna
now it's
find that for the rest of time. I think people
yeah.
are gonna slowly find that, because when you hear about what happened to Terry Kennedy, if you look into it, it eventually leads you to scamming with Vinny, which is kind of fucked up, but also kind of hilarious.
Yeah, but Habibi's agreed to come back on the show as well, and I think that we should bring him back on soon. Definitely would enjoy that.
I think I don't know. See, Vinny, this is where I want to do fun stuff, and I want to have moments, like those moments that are like a sensation. But at the same time, it's like, do we want Ian Ellis and Habibi in the same place? I feel like that's a recipe for disaster. I was just about to suggest it, and I was like, I actually don't know. That might be Habibi's last time coming on the show if we do that.
Right. If we brought Ian on.
Yeah, I was about to be like, let's have Ian interview him. And I was like, nah, never mind. This isn't with apologies. Let's not do that.
It might be good, because if he ends up hating Ian, he might buy into the giving me $10,000 thing.
That's true, actually. If you guys can good cop, bad cop. Anyways, I don't want to snitch on ourselves on the podcast, but
no, because for me, like, realistically, it's not even a scam with Habibi, because with $10,000, I can do a lot of fun things, and he'll make some money, and it'll be one of those things that if he doesn't make money, he'll have to decide whether he's going to kill me at that point, or just take it legally, or just let it go, or wait till I pay him. There's only 4 options you can have. And so it's like, I've not to sound like a cocky kind of gladiator or something, but I've faced those situations many times in my life, and let's just say there haven't been many Habibis, but there's certainly, he wouldn't be the first. But I like Habibi, and I think that I could put some of his money to good use, because he's just waving it around on Instagram, and that's a recipe for disaster.
Well, plus, I also think what I've learned from doing this show so far, Vinny, is that like getting scammed is like the 5 stages of grief. Like, it starts out with sadness, then you're angry, but by the end you accept it and you start scamming people. Like, it's inevitable. So, if someone has to get scammed to teach them how to scam, I think that's a fair trade-off.
Or you get to the point where you're so sick of what somebody did to you that you like make change, and so it does. Any negativity reflects positivity, in some form or another.
And as much as people say, like, oh, people will say they were taken away an opportunity, or they lost out on something. But at the same time, that happens to other people, and it, like you said, spurs them to be a success. So really, I think it just comes down to the person.
Yeah, I mean, how many people have you met in your life, or like seen on TV or something, accepting an award that, of course they always talk about the people that were there for them and the people that helped them along the way. But I bet you look at a lot of those books that are written by celebrities and a lot of the undercover interviews that maybe aren't as big as something like the Grammys or the Oscars, and you see people talking about how something that happened to them early in their career that was bad motivated them to prove somebody wrong, or prove something wrong, or and do something good, and that sprung about something even better. So I like to think, as every little comedian that's ever been, they ever believe they've ever been scammed allegedly under the scumbag Vinny, umbrella, that those are like little seeds that can spurt out.
Little saplings. I was about to say.
Yeah, look at Justin Silva, dude. That guy grew into a little fucking tomato bush.
He popped up. I was scrolling through Instagram my feed the other day, just watching random skate shit, and he just randomly popped up with his wife on Instagram and was like talking to the camera, and I was like, "Oh, get away from me, Justin!" Like, scared me.
yeah. He's
like, holy shit! Is he listening? Does he know?
So Instagram is, so basically how these social media apps work is, it's like, how it works. MySpace comes, it goes. Facebook comes, it goes. Instagram comes, it's going, but Instagram does not want to go. As a matter of fact, it's teamed up with the people that its predecessor, Facebook, and they are now trying to do whatever they can to take people on the new app, TikTok, and those that are hot, and get the algorithm to increase their numbers. So somebody like Justin, who was on TikTok for a few years and had no followers, now all of a sudden has millions on TikTok, and now all of a sudden you'll see him have a couple 100,000 on Instagram, because the algorithm is allowing people to find him that way, and they're just putting him right in your face, So Justin has recently started his comedy tour, which has
Which is called the Fuck Vinny Beedle tour.
Yeah, and what I love about, and this is a perfect conversation because they've had a couple shows. They did Boston and New Haven, and they've had good crowds. They've had great crowds. And you know what's insane to me, man, is that like they're texting me and talking about how great it is and blah blah blah. And you still don't see pictures of the actual audiences. You're not seeing anything like that. But they're talking about how great it is. They're messaging me how great it is. But you know what's crazy is when we were doing our tour, me and Justin, he was doing shows in Boston and New Haven with this kid, and they were doing well because Justin's from there. So it's just strange. He's never been able to go somewhere else and do it. And he actually rebooked the show in Milwaukee, which is a place that I got him booked originally. And so he's still feeding off of stuff that I've helped him build. So he's even doing things a little bit differently because they took some of my criticism and changed it up a bit, but still whack as fuck, man. I mean, to me, it's like once I've taken him out of my state of mind in my life, I realized like he wasn't like losing a Bam and Artie or a TJ Miller or somebody famous that I worked with. He wasn't like that. It didn't feel like that,
Yeah, he feels more like a like it's kind of like if you knew Mersh before Mersh was, barely kind of successful at podcasting.
Right.
And then you knew him now, you wouldn't be like, oh man, I should have stuck with Mersh. You'd be like, nah, I still made the right choice.
Yeah, like, I mean, if I had played ball with Justin's team, basically my job to them would be, because basically, like, what's happened is they're not making enough money, right? So, Justin made money with me, so they want the dynamic of figuring out how I got the audiences to the show, but they don't want it to be like a regular stand-up show. If I played ball and like didn't do this and did what they said, would be to like fill audiences for them to do some stupid scripted like sketch show, and it's just dumb as fuck. It's not even like, I mean, Wild and Out to me is dumb as fuck. It's one of those shows that I think is just
people
dumb.
do fucking love Wild and Out though.
They love it, but listen,
I don't think Justin Silva is anything like that. From what
no,
I've seen,
that's what I'm trying to say is like they don't even have. At least when you have a show like Wild and Out that is, kind of more cornball comedy, I would say people love it. It's more cornball comedy, right? Basically, what I'm trying to say is those kind of shows that are like that, at least they really jazz it up with the girls. They got good-looking girls. They got the music. They got the sets look great. They got a built-in audience.
It's really interactive and shit. To the
okay,
audience.
Exactly. When you're going to a Justin Silva show, you're like in an auditorium somewhere, some VFW with a bunch of chairs, and you got Justin's manager in like Balenciaga shoes in some place that costs like $300 a night to rent. And
he's on stage texting for some reason while the show's going on.
They did figure out something smart in Boston, which might have been the venue they were at. I'm not sure. Is that they up until showtime they kept everybody outside, so they generated like a little line around the block. But it looked about to be 100 people. And deception, and that's what I tried to teach them all along is like if you take pictures of a decent looking audience and the room is set up right, you can make 50 people look like a packed house. You know what I mean? I've done it my whole career as a comedian. I can show you over 100 photos of shows I produced that look like I have produced bangers, and only a few of them have been bangers, and most of them I set the room up according to what I'm expecting people-wise. So basically what I'm trying to say is if you have a room that fits 100 and you got 20 people in there, it's going to look bad. But if I got a show I know I'm only going to sell 40 tickets, I'm going to put it in a place that could fit 40 people comfortably, and it looks like a packed house, So they're smart in a way where they took a picture of the crowd on the outside of the place, but that proves nothing. If they were trying to prove something to me, I'd want them to send me a Habibi pic showing a stack of cash after a show. You know what I mean? Like with their nice clothes on saying, you missed the fucking boat. We're out of here. You know what I'm saying? We're in 100 cities. We're doing a world tour. That kind of thing. You're leaving me behind to go sell toys on Whatnot, and you're going to Boston and New Haven, the same place you've been going for the last 2 years. It's just weak to me. You know what I'm saying, Lane? It's not something that like threatens me in any way. As a matter of fact, when I seen the line in the crowd, it was one of those moments where I was like ready to get off the couch and start doing shows again. And then I immediately sat back down when I realized there was like 45 people out in the cold, that they could have just let in and have a good time, but they wanted to send me a dope pic, It's one of those things that I was like, all right, I'll sit back down now. I got time still, I
want to see footage of people doing good on stage. That's what I want to see. I want to see
and I haven't gotten a
shows.
lot of that myself, but I will tell you, like, there is some footage of it that my wife still has of me on stage that we haven't posted, but
a lot of the times I say really, really offensive things, and you know, I just didn't want stuff filmed because the stuff that would get online, if you go on YouTube, a lot of the videos of me doing stand up are not posted by me, meaning somebody filmed me when I didn't have authorization to them, and or whatever it was, and it got posted and it's not very good. And so I realized the less you post online, the better. But you know, now I feel like if I start doing stand up again, I really do want to post a lot of footage of me doing it, because I watch people like Stavros from SCUMTOWN post clips all the time, and I've had many moments on shows like that, and I'm like, damn, you know, they've changed it a little where you could subtitle videos and
if you do
little clips of it.
If you do that Mark Norman scam where you just make a TikTok or Instagram reel of a minute of your comedy and you put the subtitles over it, those do so fucking well. Because people are scrolling through Instagram and they read the words even if their sound's not on. They're like, wait, that was kind of funny. And then they turn the sound on, you know, and they start actually listening to it.
Right. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see how that goes. For now,
you got a bunch of million followers on TikTok, Vinny. It's a good place to start posting some comedy clips, actually.
Yeah, I ordered a new iPhone this week and it's coming in. And so I'm definitely looking to get back on TikTok.
The 13.
I'm getting a 12, but
okay. The 13 camera is so good. I'm actually buying a new phone. I don't need one. I just need the camera.
Well, we should definitely have you make a trip here at some point, so we could little bro out and maybe have our first little live stream or something.
Well, I was telling Ian, I'm trying to go see him do comedy for the last time and film it or something like that. So if you guys go do that show,
wonder if he'll come here. Yeah, or if he'll come here.
He said he would, but you were bullying him into trying to force him to do a big show in Chicago with you.
Yeah, because I want to get paid in another city. That's just me being selfish, but I'll let Ian come here. Yeah, Ian come here. If he's funny, man, if he sucks, I'm gonna let him know.
I think Ian's actually really funny on stage, but it was when you were saying like people film you without your permission and post it online. I was like, that's never happened to Ian Ellis before.
Dude, he's just like
been doing stand-up for 12 years. He's the only one that's filmed him.
He's just like an old dog that's been to the fucking pound so many times, and he always gets adopted by people that don't love him and shit. And so he just loses trust, and then he gets brought back to the pound, and so it's just the same old thing. You know what I mean? And I'm just this dog. Battered. I'm just this dog who had like this great family, but they just died in a car wreck or something. And now I'm just like coming in there like, dude, somebody's going to come pick us up tomorrow, you know? And like, he just doesn't believe anything. Even though stuff horrible has happened to me, I'm more oblivious to it. And he's just more run through the fucking mud. Like, he's just an old hound that just wants to go to bed, you know?
Well, I think he's disappointed too by the fact that he realizes that like, oh, like you said, with having 4 million TikTok followers, Ian really is having more success making his dumb little South Park parodies than he's ever had doing anything. I want him
to make them about me and Bam, man, so I could have some steal some TikTok shit.
I was gonna try to send him $50 or something to see. I'd be like, dude, can you animate the story of like Bam breaking out of rehab to go hang out with Vinny or something like that?
If money motivates him, but see, he acts like money doesn't motivate him. But you're right. I think it's one of those things where he needs to be offered some money to do something, and then maybe that'll be what makes him feel good. And a lot of people are going to agree. We're kind of sick of trying to make excuses for Ian. I have to bring him to Florida, give him his last chance. If he quits after that, well, say la vie, man. I can't do nothing. You know.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. I'm kind of happy he's been saying he was quitting for the last 2 years because we all really have had time to like accept it. And now I'm just like, hey, the show's ending. Like,
yeah, he's starting to like it.
Me like, so like you and Cosmic and everyone's going to still do the show after I leave. I'm like, no, I'm not. The show's ending. You said you're quitting. The show's ending. We're not.
He doesn't want
There's not going to be no.
He's the Undertaker, bro. You know WWF? He's the Undertaker. He's like literally retiring. And he's like, this will be the last time you hear me speak. And then right after, he's like,
see me at WrestleMania.
Never say never. Yeah, that's Ian. Never say never with his fucking black rimmed hat on. All right, Ian, open invitation. You can come to Florida. And one of my good friends, a comedian, Andre Kim, he's a very funny guy. He was on In Godfrey We Trust podcast, and now he's doing his own thing. He's a stand-up comic. We're both from Connecticut, and whenever I start to do comedy again, he's one of my good friends. I always call him to come get the payday. But I wanted him to come on the show tonight, and he kind of big-time me through text. So I'm going to give his payday to Ian Ellis. So it's the first time I've ever brought Andre up on this podcast. He was one of my good friends. He's
little snake in the grass, but I do love the kid. But yeah, he's very funny. But Ian gets his payday. So Ian, if you're listening, you get a flight, you get a hotel room day, which you have to split with Lane, because he is my producer of my show, and your show's ending, so you don't fucking get to say. And you get $300. And you have to do as many shows as I'm willing to pay for the hotel. So if it's 2 shows or 7, I get to exploit you at that point because I fly you out here. And that's the best deal you've gotten in probably 10 years. So I will see you in Florida.
I think that's a fair, considering Ian Ellis is used to doing stand-up comedy every night for no money. I think, making him do 7 or 8 shows for $300 is pretty fair.
Yeah, well, I feel like even if he does 5 with me and I give him $60 a show, it won't, it's 3 people out of the audience. So he doesn't have to draw anybody. If he does, that's a bonus. I'll start making money off of him. You get what I'm saying?
We got actually a pretty, if we're trying to get a show anywhere, Florida is probably the best place. There's some weird thing about Florida where there's a ton of people that interact with apologies.
I will say, to my credit, since moving to Florida, we have thrown about 45 shows and we have sold out 30 of them. I've fabricated that number more in the past and said we've sold out every show. The only time we've sold those 15 shows we did not sell out, I rented a place called the Castle Hotel on International Drive, and I was throwing shows every single day of the week with no advertising budget. We were just going out there trying to sell tickets on the street. And so that was just difficult in that section of town. But I've thrown shows in Tampa with Justin, without Justin as well. I had a lot of good shows with Justin, and we did shows in Tampa multiple times, sold out a place there. We did Miami. We've done Orlando. We've done all kinds of fun places. Jacksonville, Almonte Springs, Sanford, you name it. We've been there. Longwood. We've done shows all over the state, and I could definitely figure some shit out. I need someone to kind of get me on my ass about that. So if a little paid gig for him, and you coming out here to see what it's like, and maybe us doing our first, we could even do a live podcast, and have Ian on and then do a stand-up show afterwards. I'm game, man. I'm game for it. I got people out here
all the ideas, Vinny. We got to do it after April because, as you know, I work for the IRS and it's tax season right now. But after that, I am down.
Yeah, this is my birthday month. My birthday's on the 17th of April, but I'm 31, so it's one of those birthdays I don't want to have. But that works for me too. I'll need at least a month and a half to promote the show. The shows that we put together. We did a show in Plant City, was the last one I did in Florida. We did 88 people. So I work with other promoters and comedians sometimes out here, depending if they're cool or not with me. And there's a few I still work with, so I'll see who I can get together and round up a couple shows, and we'll see how he likes it, man.
All right, well, I'm going to let Ian know. We'll figure it out. I think it was a good episode, Vinny.
Yeah,
Crazy
me too,
Shane.
Dude. Crazy
Hopefully
Shane.
stays around and
comes back again.
See you guys
Thank you,
next
dude.
week. Subscribe to Dark Mourning Radio.
Thank you. Peace out, dude. Later.